Tonight's writing session is sponsored by my future self. Why do I say this? Well, this all stems from the idea of compounding, that you gotta work on your craft every day, even if it's only for 5 minutes or if it's for hours. There's something about just checking in that is really, really important because you're exercising muscles in certain ways. And I think one of the hardest parts for me is taking my laptop out of my bag from work, putting it on the desk, plugging in the HDMI cord, getting it on the monitor, and just, being present even for a little bit. I know that I hold my breath a lot more and I get a lot more anxious and frustrated. Like I'm just holding in my energy, basically. I'm holding in my light. And if I just get it out there and I get to play with it a little bit, relief, you know what I mean? So I say this is for my future self because this is the idea of checking in every single day. That's how the growth happens, and it does not happen overnight. And I guess the older I get, the more I realize that when I was younger, I was always chasing like one project that would make me famous or make me a ton of money, or just all of a sudden, bam, I was in this creative sphere with tons of interesting people and they were going to give me whatever opportunity I needed. And I think the older I get, the more things come my way, the more like mental and spiritual, emotional capacity I have for each of these things. The more I realize like it's just not the case. Like the work is never done. It's never going to be done. Just like in healing and growth, like there's always going to be more. And I think it's imperative to, just keep showing up, keep trying, keep putting some words on the page. Not because you need an entire page or an entire book written in one night, but because you got to get something there to feel human again. My friend also had a great reflection. We send a lot of voice messages back and forth about writing our books, and one thing she said is that, you know, how long does it take you to read a book? Unless you're just tapped in a certain way, like one of my cousins, and you can read a book in like 2 days. Most of us, it takes a while to read a book, especially a dense fantasy book. So it's going to take a while to write these things. So this is, just to recap, this is a check-in for me because I did not want to write tonight. I did not want to do this. But now that when I'm looking up, I'm looking at the screen and I'm just like, yeah, this world is getting a little less hazy every day, and the scenes I was working on yesterday, I understand a little bit more of what goes in front of them and what goes in front of that, and where the connective tissue has to go and stuff like that. So let's all just keep showing up.